All right, mighty companions and my fellow miracle workers, I tried really hard to go live on Facebook today, but I had some signal problems, so I had to do a recorded video for you. But I'm showing up because I have a message that I really want to share. I think if you can just grasp this one concept, it will completely change your life and it will shift the experience that you have in life. So I'm Teresa McGallagher, and I'm the founder, together with my friend and partner, Cardi Hardy, of the Miracles Tribe and this Miracles Attraction community on Facebook, where we come on every week to provide you with inspiration, encouragement, and support on your spiritual path. And this week, Carly did her Monday miracle message about identity, and she showed a stick figure of a woman and talked about how so many of us identify ourselves with that character, that personality, that form. And yet, that's not the real us. And then she showed a beautiful sparkly page of, I don't know if it was gift wrap or a gift box, but it was silver and it was magical looking, and talked about how that is the real us. Something far more profound, far more beautiful than that stick figure, that one-dimensional, two-dimensional person. So I thought I would address this from a little bit of a different perspective. And the title of my talk is Where Do You End? Because I found that most people don't know where they begin and where they end, or when they begin and when they end, because so many of us are identified with the physical form and with the body, with the personality, with the name, with the occupation, and we see that as who we are. We believe that we end right here at the border, at the boundary of the body. And we, as a person, begin when we are born, when we take our first breath, and end when we die, when the form dies and we take our last breath. But the shift that I want to introduce to you is that this body, this personality, is just a small portion and a very dense portion of your true identity. Your true identity is so much bigger, so much grander, so much more expanded than just that body. And when you look at pictures of biblical art or spiritual art, you will see halos around people, because the ancient wise ones knew that there was more than just this boundary of form, that we extend out farther than that. So there is this etheric field, this astral field, this energetic field, which is often called the aura, that extends beyond the body, and you extend beyond the body too. You're not just this, you're so much more. In fact, this is your reality, the extended part of you, not the part of you that's dense and in form. This is an effect. The cause is not visible to the human eye. So I want to talk about a book that I read many years ago by Jill Bolte Taylor called My Stroke of Insight. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. She also does a fascinating TED Talk that you can find on YouTube. And recently, she has come out with a new book called Whole Brain Living that's just as fascinating. But what happened with Jill Bolte Taylor, who was a neuroanatomist, is that she had a massive stroke on the left hemisphere of her brain. And because she was a trained scientist, she understood what was happening and was actually able to observe the process as it happened. And the left brain is the part that houses all of our egoic functions, speaking and doing in the world. When this massive stroke occurred and her left hemisphere was flooded with blood and could no longer function properly, the right hemisphere took over. And when that occurred, she had a completely different experience of life. She did not see herself as a person and a body whose boundaries ended at the edges of her form. She was actually in the shower at one point with her hand up against the wall, and she could see all the molecules in her hand, and she could see all the molecules on the wall, in the tile of the wall, and she could see them blending together, and there was no separation. You know, in A Course in Miracles, it talks about how there's no separation. And the one thing that we need to heal is our sense of separation. And Jill Bolte Taylor was actually able to experience and see how there was no separation between her body and the wall of the shower. And she went into this state of bliss where she didn't care what was happening. But then her left hemisphere came back online and said, emergency, we need to get help, call for help. So she was able to get to the hospital and be treated, although it took her 8 years to regain all of the capacities that she had lost, to learn how to walk again and talk again and read and write again, and all of those things that she had learned as a child. So both hemispheres of the brain are vital for our functioning here in this world. But what happens so often is that we come into this world as young children where the right hemisphere is dominant, and we are amazed by everything. We don't know where our body starts and ends. We don't know where we leave off and another person starts. And then we're trained, we're taught, your name is such and such, you are a boy or you are a girl, you are this, you are that, you are a member of this family, you are this race, you are this ethnicity, whatever it is that you are labeled with, you are taught these things. If you had never been told those things, you wouldn't know them as your identity. So we lose our sense of expansiveness and connection with the world, our sense of unity, and we become small and we become limited, and we see ourselves as small and limited and powerless. But that is not the truth of who you are. So the process of awakening is letting go of all of those things that we have been told, all of that misinformation about where you begin and where you end, and how small you are and how limited you are, and growing and evolving into your true, real self. So I have an assignment for you this week. I want you to be aware of all the times that you argue for your limitations. Listen to yourself when you are speaking. And whenever somebody says something to you and your response is, yeah, but, you are about to minimize your abilities and argue for your limitations. So if somebody says, there's probably a fantastic partner out there for you in the world, and your response is, yeah, but I'm never going to meet them, or yeah, but they wouldn't be interested in me, or yeah, but whatever, you have created a limit with your thinking and your speech that is creating a barrier between you and the possibility of anything miraculous happening in your life. If you want miracles in your life, you have to be open to receive them. And when you argue for your limitations and say, other people are successful, but I probably won't be. Other people get rich, but that probably can't happen for me. Other people get cured from fatal illnesses, but it's not likely to happen to me. You are the one who is creating this limitation with thinking of lack and scarcity, and creating a limited personal identity for yourself. Yourself extends on and on and on into the universe. And there is no separation between you and the quantum field where all possibilities exist. And your thinking, your imagination, your creativity, your dreams are your reality. What we see here in the 3D world is an effect of those things. So at the subconscious level, Your reality exists, and you're creating all the time with your thoughts and with your feelings. Don't get confused and think that you are your thoughts or that you are your feelings. Those are things that you are able to observe in you. They are not you. They are just a part of you. So, I hope I made this clear. I'm not sure if it was clear, but there is more to you than just the form. The form is just a small portion of who you are, and it's not the true you. It's just a reflection of the true you. I want to let you know about some opportunities that are going to be coming up soon. I have been invited to speak at the TAT Foundation from June 10th to 12th in the Raleigh-Durham area of North Carolina, along with many other interesting speakers. They hold a spiritual workshop quarterly there in Hurdle Mills, North Carolina. So if you have any interest in that, you can find their website. TAT, T-A-T, stands for Truth and Transmission. And it's a group of friendly spiritual seekers that come together to help one another with self-inquiry. And I'll be there June 10th and 11th and 12th. And I'd love to see you there. If you want to come, reach out to me and I'll tell you how to register. Also, Carly Hardy and I are available for coaching. If you're struggling with something and you want to have miracles in your life and you just can't seem to get over some issue or some hump that seems to be holding you back, we are more than happy to assist you and open you to the miracle realm. So Carly in particular is empathetic and a specialist with women who have left organizations with a lot of authority or fundamentalist churches where they have been told that life can only be a certain way. And she courageously left that kind of community many years ago, and she has a lot of compassion and heart for that struggle. And I know that suffering is not necessary. So if you feel like you're suffering in any way, shape, or form, I'm here to let you know that life is meant to be happy. It's meant to be grand. It's meant to be adventurous. It's meant to be joyful. And you were made for all of those things. Finally, if you're not subscribed to our newsletter, you can go to our website, www.miraclestribe.com, and put your email in there and get more weekly inspiration in written form. I know some people do better with videos and with auditory information, and others like to read or are more visual. So that's another option for you. That's my message for this week. Keep on keeping on. I'm Teresa McGallagher, and I love you.